Grounded flights, healthcare appointment delays, spotty internet service. A massive Microsoft outage is still being felt across the globe. It's leaving many asking the question, just how vulnerable is the planet's infrastructure? Joining us today to explore that question is Charles Finley, the Executive Director of the Rogers Cybersecurity Catalyst at Toronto Metropolitan University. Charles, thank you so much for joining us. I think what many people want to know is, how does something like this even happen?
So what we know so far is that this is related to a content update issued by a very large cybersecurity company called CrowdStrike for its Falcon software, which is sort of its main protection software that's used by thousands of organizations across all sectors. Internationally, what we know at this point is that there was an error in that software that caused Microsoft computers to not start, essentially, to show what people are calling is the blue screen of death. So simply not to start up. This is causing huge impacts on a global scale.
And you started to see those impacts trickling in quite quickly this morning. Even our newsroom was hit. How concerning is it that most of the world relies on only a few companies for their tech needs? Is there a monopoly there that could potentially have greater impacts?
Yes, I mean, I think what we're seeing here is the vulnerability of our technology infrastructure in a couple of different ways. This technology is very complex. These systems are broadly interconnected. They touch every aspect of our lives, and they can be impacted and really negatively impacted by errors in particular software, as happened in this case. To your point about there being these monopolies in technology, that's certainly true. CrowdStrike has a very large group of customers, and so a problem with their software that we're seeing right now impacts a very, very large number of organizations.
When it comes to technology, this is an industry that's continuously evolving. Yeah. We're all learning more, and we're leaning also more on tech, things like AI, for instance. So are these giant outages just something we have to live with from now on? Is this a norm?
So the risk is a norm. The problem of the fact that technology has penetrated every single part of our lives, and that's only going to continue and become more profound as new technologies like artificial intelligence roll out. That is certainly true. But there are important things that we as a society and as an economy can do to mitigate this risk. Quality assurance in software updates like this, has to be important. Software updates like this could be rolled out, incrementally to avoid massive outages like this in the event that there are problems with those rollouts. So yes, the risk exists. Yes, it's getting more severe, but there are things that we can do to mitigate that risk.
And as we are seeing these risks here, does government have a role in these types of situations? Do we need to have some sort of regulation to address any aspect of what happened today?
Yeah, I think this is a very important question that people are going to be asking. On one hand, yes, to mitigate the risk, should we have regulation of technology infrastructure that is becoming so important for public safety, for our lives and well-being. On the other hand, we also want to ensure that innovation is happening quickly. We want to make sure that our economy is remaining competitive and our technology sector is remaining competitive. So is there a role for regulation? I think so. Does it have to be done very, very carefully? It does.
What do you think are the next steps here for Microsoft, for these industries who have been impacted?
Well, the first order of business is obviously to get these affected systems back on track. Because of the nature of this system, this may be a long and manual process that may take a number of days to resolve. So that's the first order of business. And the second order of business is really to take a clear-eyed objective appraisal of what went wrong here and to learn the lessons from that so that this isn't repeated, and to draw those lessons and implement those lessons across the technology sector. So first, we're going to fight the fire that we have happening today and over the next few days, and then we need to learn from this mistake.
Okay, Charles Finley, the Executive Director of Rogers Cybersecure Catalyst at Toronto Metropolitan University. Charles, we thank you for taking the time to speak with us today.
Happy to be here.